I'm here to tell you that my name is Renita Mitchener and I am a piece of garbage. A piece of shit, if you will. Um, and you're probably wondering, why would she say that about herself? Like, who says that? Who talks about themselves like that? Self-deprecating jokes are quite funny. Finding the humor in my pain is also been my coping mechanism throughout my life. But I'm here to tell you that there was a point in time where I, in fact, really did think that I was a piece of shit. And I felt like it. I thought I looked like it. I thought that everything in the world was coming down around me, and that's just where I lived. I lived in that misery for 3 years. For 3 years, I lived in the misery of thinking that I was just existing and going on a hamster wheel of life, if you will. But not anymore. Why, you ask? How do you just go from 3-year long stint of almost positively sure that you are a piece of shit to being somewhat okay with yourself? You let me tell you, sit right there and I'm gonna tell you how you want to know how? I'm gonna tell you how. You just wait. You want to know how? I can't tell you how. I can only tell you, I guess, why, in a sense. I got to the point where I was like, what am I doing? What am I doing with life? Who am I? Essentially, I think I was going through a quarter life crisis, because this was around 25, 26, really like 26, 27. For about 3 years, I was just kind of just going and going on a hamster wheel. And it was like, I don't really know what I want, who I want to be, what I want to do. I don't think that I'm good at anything. I don't think that, I am capable of anything, capable of any type of greatness. And that became my reality for 3 years. That was how I viewed myself for 3 years. And not only was I unhappy with my mental, I was unhappy with my physical state, and I couldn't even look in the mirror. I was literally like avoiding mirrors for 3 years. And there was a time where I finally looked at myself in the mirror and I just broke down. I was like, what am I? Who am I? And I don't think there's a how did I do it. It was a why. And I think really the why is because I didn't want to live in that anymore. I made the decision one day to just not be that person anymore. And not because getting out of depression or, getting out of a bad time is easy, because it's not. And it takes work. It takes constant work to make the decision to not live in that depression or live in that constant state of anxiety. And it's not easy. It's not supposed to be, because for people who do suffer from that, it is almost in that moment, it feels like that's all you'll ever know and that's all you'll ever feel. So it's like, I'm not gonna sit here and be like, oh yeah, I just decided not to be depressed anymore. Like, no, that's not, it's not about that. And I think that was what kept me down for so long, was that it wasn't like I just needed to get out of it, right? Like, I didn't want to just I just kept telling myself like, okay, stop being sad, stop being this, stop being down on yourself. And it's not like that. I needed to actually go through it and feel it and be in that depression. And I needed to really break down, and I needed to have that lowest moment of my life be my reality for a little bit. And that was fine in that moment, because I crawled myself out of it. And that is how essentially I cried and I crawled myself out of it. I didn't just wake up one day and was like, I'm not depressed. No, I literally I was clawing at this point my way. I can't do this anymore. I got tired of living like that. I got exhausted from being exhausted. At this point, I was sad that I was sad, right? So it's like now I feel all of these feelings and I don't know how to get out of it. So I'm just upset that I'm upset at this point. And it's like that life becomes so exhausting and it becomes so tiresome, and it's like, I know that I am more than this, so let me try one thing, right? Let me try taking a shower. Let me try getting out of bed and just maybe standing up. Let me try just one simple thing to remind myself that I'm alive and that I do have a purpose. Even if I don't know what that is, I do have a purpose, and it's okay to be sad, and it's okay to go through stuff that is inevitable. Sad, bad moments are inevitable, but at the end of the day, you have to understand that it is temporary. And that was the thing for me as to my why. This is temporary. This is not where I live. I let it live there for, 3 years, and that seems like a long time, but it was kind of like a constant, didn't know how to. And so I'm just like, I don't have to let this sadness live here. I don't have to let this depression live here. And don't get me wrong, it still comes to visit. Oh, she comes to visit. She thinks she's slick, but she's not. She comes to visit every now and then, but I now have the mindset, I guess, to not let her stay. She does not unpack her bags anymore, honey. She comes, she has her little moment, and then she gets up and she leaves, because now I know that, okay, I can get out of this. And sometimes it's scary. I'm not gonna lie to you. It's scary to when you get that depression, like, sneak back in, and you're like, oh my God, like, is this gonna be the moment that it takes me out? Like, is this gonna be the moment? Like, is it? So I feel like it is scary, and it gets to the point where I have to understand that I'm gonna be sad and I'm gonna have moments, like, this is life, and it's not supposed to be easy, but it's damn worth it, and I have to always remind myself that it's gonna be okay. At the end of the day, working on yourself is a work in progress, and being the person that you want to be and being the best version of yourself is a work in progress. And sometimes you have to break down and have those moments and be sad and depressed to get on the other side of it and to know what you're capable of. Like, I didn't know that I've been through numerous things in my life, but that was something that, like, I had to, like, I put myself through, in a sense. So I had to not only put myself through it, I had to get myself through it. So, because your mind just plays tricks on you for the most part. For me, I can't speak for everybody, but your mind can be your worst enemy. I can be my worst enemy, my worst critic. I can be so hard on myself, yet so easy on other people. And it really just is about being kind to yourself and letting yourself feel your feelings, letting yourself be in your moment, and realizing that right now it might be the worst time in your life. And as trendy as being sad is on the social media internet, there's people really dealing with this, and it's people out here that really can't, sometimes you can't laugh at it. I have developed the laughing at my pain coping mechanism, but sometimes you can't laugh, sometimes you can't smile through it. They tell you be positive and just like choose to be happy. Like, bitch, if it was that easy, then I would who wants to be sad? Nobody wants to be sad, right? So, like, don't tell me to choose to be happy. Like, it's just so simple, but it's not simple to be happy, and it's not simple to be okay with life, especially if you're not where you want to be in life. And I think that's another thing to realize, that there is no timeline as to where you're supposed to be at any given time, at any age. There's no timeline to have this or have that or anything like that. I think that is some things that gets people down, is thinking that maybe they didn't reach a certain milestone or goal at a certain time. in their life, and now maybe they're looking at themselves at 30 years old, and they're, you know, or at the end of their 20s, and they're like, ugh, it's getting a little it's getting a little, you know, do or die at this point, and I might have to, you know, unlive, you know. But like, I think that for the most part, we have to understand that just live your life. And it's easier said than done, and everything is so much easier said than done. It's so easy for someone to get on YouTube or Instagram or, you know, any other social media platform and tell you, you can be happy, you can do it, I promise you, you can be the best version of yourself if you just choose to be happy. Like, shut up. Like, it's not, you know, that's not realistic. And people don't ever tell you their bad moments until they're out of their bad moments. So obviously I can see the full picture now, but when I'm in it, I can only see half of the picture, barely. So like, don't come on here and tell me that like, oh, I just gotta choose to be happy. No, I think that you just have to understand that it'll be okay. That's all you can do. That is all you can do, is know that it will be okay. And I think that's the only thing that, like, so if you're sad and you're in this moment, or depressed and you're in it, as long as you understand that it'll be okay, then feel your feelings. You know, feel your feelings, cry, be mad, you know, don't hurt yourself or anyone else, but feel that. Don't choose to be happy or think you gotta be positive. Don't get down on yourself for being sad, because life is rough. It's rough, right? It's rough. And we're dealing with so much all the time. And a lot of times you don't realize that you have certain trauma and certain like triggers and stuff until it happens. And then you're like, where did this come from? So it's like, just feel it and go through it, and it's fine. But, you know, again, I guess how is that I gotta know that it's okay. And, you know, I have to know that it's gonna be okay. And even though I still have my moments, and I have, you know, sometimes they'll last for like weeks, and I'm just like, dang it, like, is this gonna last forever? I have to know that it's not, and that it will be okay, and that the depression and the anxiety will come and visit, but I don't have to let it unpack its bags and live, you know, with me. No, it can come and visit, because that's just how life goes. And it doesn't mean I'm weak. It doesn't mean that, you know, I can't handle life or something. It's just, you know, things happen, and that's just it is what it is. And I have to understand that it's easy to be comfortable in your pain sometimes. I think a lot of times people get really comfortable in their insecurities. They get comfortable in their doubt. They get comfortable in their pain and their childhood traumas, because it's so much easier to stay that way than it is to work on yourself and change and be a better person. Like, who wants to, you know, dig deep and feel all those feelings to heal, essentially? And it's like, nobody wants to do that. But that's really the only thing you can do is to move forward, is to feel that, but acknowledge it. You know, there's one thing to feel your feelings and let yourself be sad, but you also have to acknowledge it and point out, like, okay, this is what's making me sad. This is what's making me mad. When this person said this is what triggered me. You know, this is why I'm down on myself. Is it about your weight? Is it about where you're not in life? We have to feel it, acknowledge it, and we get through it. And again, it's easier said than done. It's a process. Don't think that, oh, I'm not depressed anymore. You know, I'm happy today and I'm good. So you think that everything is just gonna be, you know, great from here on out, and then as soon as you get back sad, you're like down on yourself. No, it's a work in progress. We never know, again, like I said, what triggers us, what makes us sad or mad until it happens. But each time, you know that you are stronger than the last time, and that you can get through it, and that you will get through it, and that it's temporary. All of this is temporary, and it will not last forever. And again, you don't have to be positive every single day or choose to be happy, you know, because happiness is fleeting. And really it's about peace and being content. You're like, this is where I am, and this is who I am, and this is where I'm at in life, and I'm okay with that. And that's when I say you'll be okay, is because you are at peace with being where you're at in this moment. Because happiness, again, is a fleeting emotion. You can get paid on Friday and be the happiest person in the world, and then on Monday you ain't got no money. So now what? You're just not happy anymore? No, you're like, I acknowledge it, be like, okay, I spent a little bit too much this weekend, and realize that, but I'm not broke yet. I still have a little bit of money, and you're content and you're okay. Even if it's as big as a relationship, and you're with this person one time and you're the happiest person, and it's like, as soon as maybe something goes bad, you guys get in a bad fight or you guys break up, your happiness cannot depend on somebody else being in your life. It has to come from you. You have to make yourself happy. You have to figure out what makes you at peace. And I think realizing that you are okay with or without someone will bring you peace and contentment. Even though it sucks to go through a breakup or losing somebody, even whether it be romantic or just a friend, it sucks to lose somebody. But knowing that you are okay with you and on your own, it is what it is, right? Or not necessarily it is what it is just carelessly like that, but it's, you want that person, but if they're not there, they're not there. Or, you wanted that extra $100, but you accidentally spent it. You made the mistake, and realizing that, okay, I'm not going to do that again, and acknowledging it and realizing that doesn't mean that I'm just gonna not be happy, or I'm gonna be sad all of a sudden just because this particular thing didn't go my way. At the end of the day, it's up and down, but you have to understand that you're gonna be okay. And it's not about what you go through, it's about how you go through it. And as long as you can pick yourself up at some point, and don't rush yourself, just know that it's gonna be okay, and you'll come out stronger than ever. And I think that's how I do not hate myself anymore. Hating yourself is a really, really sucky feeling. And when I say hate myself, I mean I hated myself. It was a bad time, wasn't fun at all. And 0 out of 10, don't recommend that. But it happened, and it was something that I always look back on like, yeah, I don't want to go. And now I know that I don't want to go back to that stage anymore. I might have different stages, but I don't want to go to that point, because that was a really low point. And I think that made me realize my purpose now, and that is sharing it all with you and who's ever watching. If you're still here, if you stayed, thank you so much. If you left, I hate you. Just kidding. But really, I'm just here to share whatever experience that I had, because again, it's hard. And if one person cannot feel alone by watching something that I put out there, then that's really all that matters at the end of the day, because you're not alone, and it is going to be okay. And you have to understand that it's all going to be temporary. But hopefully I'm not temporary. Hopefully I'm permanently in your phone, your iPad, your computer, whatever, your TV. Hopefully you have watched my other 2 videos, and that you are subscribing and liking, because I need that. I really do. I need you. I need you so much. But even if you didn't, it's fine, whatever. I don't care anyway. Just joking. I do care. I care a lot. If you did make it this far, I hope you stay tuned for the rest of the content that I have coming out, and I hope you watch the other 2 videos, and just know that it's gonna be okay. You're gonna get through it, and everything is temporary. I promise you. Bye, guys.